Lisa asked me what I would like to speak on, and I think the one thing that we saw that really affected me the most was walking the way of the cross through Old City Jerusalem. Our journey began by walking through the Lion's Gate, also known biblically as the Sheep's Gate. Much of the city looks as it would have in Jesus' time, limestone walls, limestone streets, so you can really understand and picture what he saw. It puts everything in context. We entered the area accepted to be the Roman garrison, which is now a few feet underground. This is where Jesus suffered the beatings and the humiliation from them, and is also where he received the cross that he would die on. Archaeological evidence was all around us. The soldiers had carved game boards into the stone floor, and you can still see this today. The stones in the streets were etched with perpendicular lines, as you can see in the photos. And I knelt down to touch these stones, and a flood of feelings overcame me. Did Jesus stand on this very spot? Did he lay here after the beatings and the applications of the thorns? How much love did he have to find the strength to go on? We climbed back up to the street level amongst the Israeli army, vendors, delivery trucks, and pilgrims from all over the world. As we walked the narrow streets, we saw the third station where he fell the first time. A few yards later, the fourth, where his mother sees her son, weary, beaten, bloody, and yet determined. I wondered if Mary said anything to the crowd, who were surely jeering and taunting him the whole time. A few steps later, we see the fifth station where Simon the Cyrene is forced to carry the cross for him. And I slowly begin to realize that these stations aren't really that far apart from each other. My mind had always pictured this long, solemn journey, and that it was the weight of the cross and the distance that he had to walk that caused Jesus to fall. But no, here I saw that these stations are not that far apart at all, that each one is maybe the distance between the sanctuary glass and the back sanctuary doors. And I began to realize and truly understand how much agony and how much pain that Jesus truly was in on this journey to death. We passed by an alley that looks as it would have in his time. A vendor there is selling brooms and brushes. We passed the sixth station where Veronica wipes the master's face. At the seventh station, Jesus falls for the second time. We see a spot on the wall where Christ puts his hand. It had been worn by centuries of believers putting their hands there. Our pilgrimage will end at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built around the place believed to be the site of Jesus' crucifixion and death. People are waiting up to 30 minutes just to be able to kneel over, perhaps kiss and pray over this spot for just a few seconds. Next, we see the anointing stone, where his body was laid and dressed for burial. The last stop is the sepulchre itself, where Jesus was buried in the tomb. Hundreds of pilgrims from all cultures and all nations are here waiting to see this empty tomb. I found a bench and I sat down a while, gazing at the splendor of this ancient church, and I see the quiet expressions of the passersby, and suddenly I'm reminded of Matthew 28, where the angel said, Jesus is not here, he is risen. And I find peace and comfort and joy in that. I would like to thank you for listening to my experience, and I'd like for you to take joy, my friends, for the tomb was empty that day, and he truly lives. Thank you.